you're talking about how crazy New York is getting right now, right? It's spring break. This last week and this coming week is spring break for like college kids. Miami just issued a state of emergency because of the number of spring breakers that are just trying. They're like, fuck it, we're partying, and they're afraid now that the Florida like COVID numbers are gonna spike like crazy because all these college kids are just gonna fucking get, like Miami usually gets crazy during spring break, and I think it's Tallahassee or.
Yeah, it's like the Panhandle, Sarasota.
Isn't Pensacola a party spot too?
Pensacola. It's all on the like
top part. Tampa. There's a city like out west.
It's at this part.
You ever watch Spring Breakers?
Yes.
That movie's horrible. Wherever that's taking place, that place is infamous.
That's Pucho's favorite guy in that whole fucking movie.
Spring break.
Nigga just kept repeating that shit
forever. That shit is horrible.
It was like brainwashing.
Fucking James Franco. That was actually
he's a good actor.
An okay movie. There's okay parts in that movie, but my God, is it horrible? Fucking Gucci Mane in that movie. Horrible.
Apparently, Riff Raff tried to sue them because he said James Franco was copying his entire image.
Yeah, before anybody even knew that Riff Raff fucking existed. But Riff Raff claims to be he was too cool for school in elementary school. He said.
What a shame that we all know that Riff Raff exists.
Yep.
My brother had a favorite interview where he said he was too cool for kindergarten or elementary, so he quit. He quit elementary.
Elementary. He was too cool for school.
No, that's just called being a dummy, bro.
Yep.
That's weird. Fuck. What the hell were we talking about again? We just go off of so many tangents.
Now, I guess.
Yeah, it's fucking. But no, yeah, Miami issued a fucking a curfew for 8 o'clock or 9 p.m. or some shit like that now because of the party.
Way.
Yeah, of the partying the previous couple days. But dude, they had like hundreds of people on the street dancing on cars and acting a fool, throwing money in the air. And no one's wearing a mask, and everybody's everywhere. I was just like, yo, these guys are bugged out.
I guarantee there's gonna be more champagne on the streets up the block than there is at the clubs in New York, for some reason, there's a group of guys on my block. It's real cool guys. They're all super Harlem. But for some reason, anytime they get to celebrate anything, they buy pallets of champagne, cheap champagne, shake it all over the street. It's just their way to celebrate. It's just spraying champagne everywhere and all over people. When Joe Biden won, oh my God. New York was... it's very rare when you step outside and it's like an electricity outside, bro. Everybody is in such a good mood that you are also in a good mood because you just see nothing but smiling faces, people enjoying themselves. The streets were crowded. Mm-hmm. Like when Joe Biden won in New York, man, what a blessing, bro, because I have not had to worry about politics ever since he won. I've kind of had to like turn it off. Like, all right, I can just like relax now that we don't have a fucking.
No, that's the opposite.
This is the time that we got to be just as vigilant about politics. There's still like 6,000 kids down on the border in fucking cages.
Yeah,
so can't give this man a pass just because he's a fucking just because he's blue.
It was a lot to deal with, man. When Trump was president, just having to deal with him every day saying something outrageous, and it was just
funny.
Too much.
An idiot. It was just funny.
But what do you got there, Pucho? I saw some opinions for me.
Yeah, no. All right, because the whole kids in cages thing, right? Well, yeah, this motherfucker's on a tear today. This is insane.
It's those it's those 5 shots of J-Mo that he did.
Even Cat's upset. Cat left.
His dick is just an open hose. It's just piss is just leaking at all times.
Shit is ridiculous.
So the whole kids in cages thing, right? So one thing I don't like about this, and I've been seeing a lot of lefties, and when I say lefties, I'm talking like real communists, like the real super progressive people that
the very online leftist anarchists. Yeah.
I can't stand it. So I've been seeing a lot of like Biden's putting kids in cages the same way Trump was putting kids in cages, right? And if you want to just look at the fact that there are kids and they are in cages, then sure, like it's sort of true, but like the policies are like, and the ways in which this is occurring is like vastly different. Where like, so like under the Trump presidency, right? If some people got caught like you know, crossing a border or something like that,
they'd separate the families.
They would separate the families. So like they'll put the women in one place, the men in another place, and they'll put the children in their own place.
Yeah, and apparently currently there's been some kind of big amount of unaccompanied minors crossing the border for some fucking reason.
Correct. So basically, it's a very unfortunate situation. But what it looks like is happening is a lot of people are just like, the problem gets very complicated when you have a child at the border, right? Mm-hmm. Because if this is an adult, you'll say, okay, well, someone just crossed the border illegally. They're a grown man. If I send them back, they should have some means to figure their situation out. They could work a job. They could go back home. Like, they're adults. They could think. They could figure something out. But when you got a child at the border, right? What happens when a little kid tries to cross the border by himself? It's like, what do you do with that kid? If you send them back, you might be sending them to death. If you send them with any random adult, like that could be some sex trafficking dude you're sending them back with. So then now you got sort of a complicated problem on your hands. So it seems like out of all the bad choices you can make, the best bad choice you can make is to hold them in this center and try to find this kid's family in the hopes that you could send these kids back to some safe environment. And that's the situation that's like occurring now. Not to go on a whole spiel. It's just it's interesting you brought that up. And I've been seeing a lot of people, even people on my timeline that are like,
well, I think it's a push to be better. Like it's not enough to just not be Trump, right? It's not 100%. And there are reasons for the situation, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't expect better of ourselves. 100%. We're supposed to be the best country in the fucking world. We're supposed to be the leader of democracy and freedom and American pie and all that. And so there should be a better solution than putting these kids into cages, because, you know, I've seen pictures of some of these like holding stations, and I know that it's a lot of people, like, they're working with their budget. They're doing the best they can. I don't think that there is a straight up like malicious intent necessarily with some of the holding facilities, but they're shitholes. Like, some of them are just seriously like fucking chain link fences on concrete and with concrete floors that they were holding these people in.
Yeah. So then the other unfortunate situation here as well is COVID, right? Because there's so many unaccompanied minors coming to the border, they had to reopen a facility that the Trump administration was using as, you know, one of the facilities that all the like Democrats and the lefty, including myself, I was upset that like we were separating children at the border and putting these kids in this like facility, right? And now the Biden administration, they had to reopen this facility, and the reason is they couldn't pack all these kids in the one more decent place because they were afraid that putting too many people together, people were going to get COVID, it was going to spread, and you're going to end up killing a bunch of kids. So then they had to reopen this other facility that they closed down after the Trump administration left, and they basically had to reuse these cages that these kids are in now. So yeah, it is a very shitty circumstances. Unfortunately, it seems like right now in the immediate, it seems like the best option out of all the options, unfortunately.
Yeah,
is to put kids in a cage, which sounds fucking atrocious.
They're giving women hysterectomies. They're taking out their working parts so that they don't get impregnated at these places as well.
That's fucking.
That was
I'd heard that under the Trump administration. I hadn't heard
Right.
anything
Mhm.
recently about that.
That was last year they started.
I mean that's a straight up fucked up thing to do in general. Like,
Yep.
That's
They're
not
giving
even legal.
forced hysterectomies.
You said, is that even legal?
That's not legal. You can't.
I mean, it depends, right? I'm not arguing whether it's right or wrong. I personally think that that's fucked up, and I think it's wrong. You're asking though, is it legal? And it's hard. You get into this very gray area when you're talking about illegal immigrants, people that don't really have rights in our country because they're not citizens, so they're not afforded the same liberties that we are.
So we're just forced to just treat them like pieces of like shit, like animals.
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
I mean,
I
we
didn't say
should-
that we're forced. You're asking what rights do they have. I'm saying that because they're illegal, they don't have a lot. They have very minor rights. I think they only covered under certain like international type laws. I don't think that they really have any real rights in America. Like legally, I'm speaking, right? Not what I'm saying what should happen. I'm saying the rules that are in place. And I mean, it kind of makes sense what they're doing. It's just fucked up, right? Like what they're basically saying is we are already dealing with an excess of people. So if these people are gonna live here and start having babies in our country, then they're gonna then you get into weird places where, well, that kid was born here, so now they might have a right to stay here, but then you gotta maybe send the parents back, and it's like them trying to figure out a solution to that problem, which again, I'm not defending. I think it's super fucked up. I don't think you should be performing any forced surgeries to change people's lives forever.
sterilization is what we would call it when the Nazis did it.
Right. So I think that's super fucked up.
Yeah, I would agree. That's just not cool at all. Might as well just start saying that we can force anybody in the fucking country, rights or not, saying like, yo, you're only limited to having 2 kids in the household. You can't have more than 2 kids.
The way it was in China for a long time, and now they have an issue in China where one kid is taking care of 4 grandparents.
They've also got a shortage of women because it was primarily male heirs that were desired. So that like the men outnumber women like 2 to 1 or something crazy like that over there.
Insanely. In the countryside, it's insane. There's towns of just men.
Weird shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we were talking pandemic though, right? We got
Yeah.
sidetracked.
I mean,
Uh,
this is the border
so-
situation because of the pandemic. It goes.
So I'm curious about Tony and Doey, like what your experience has been like with the pandemic, because I feel like Pucho and me probably have a different experience because we're both in the tech industry. We were able to kind of I've been just work from home. Like I could, if realistically with delivery services and being a thing, I could have just stayed in my I have mostly been, but I could just have been in my little hovel, my little cave this entire past year. I think we're just a little bit over the 1 year mark.
Nothing else.
I could have seen no other person for this past year. Like I that was realistically an experience I could have had because it's been working remote and getting shit delivered, and yeah. So I feel like my pandemic experience is a little bit different than y'all's.
Yeah, I had a serious drinking problem before the pandemic started. So, like, the one thing that I could say that kind of saved me in this the COVID pandemic is I had to stop drinking, and I kind of had to take a real look at my life because I was drinking, so I didn't have to like think about it stuff and like have I was going through a lot of depression, and like whether this whole thing was a blessing in disguise, I can't say it is because it's terrible. I've had friends that died, parents died. Shit is fucking terrible. But I guess there is a silver lining. I kind of got my shit together, and New York was just insane the first few months. It was like a mass exodus. Everybody was leaving New York. It was just fucking everybody was going to move out of state, New Jersey, Connecticut. They just were getting the fuck out of New York because everybody literally it changed the landscape and the feeling of New York, because it's like the things that you didn't give a fuck about before, which was overcrowding and like homeless people that were, unfortunately they're very dirty, they haven't taken showers, so stuff you did not look and care about it before. Now you're like, it's a new anxiety. I got to see some tragic things happen. I got to see people. I unfortunately witnessed a suicide at my job. A guy threw himself off the 24th floor of his balcony, and I had to see that shit. And it's probably because he couldn't take it anymore. The whole staying inside for months and nobody's allowed outside and curfews, and then we had the riots because of the George Floyd and all of that stuff happened. That was insane. That whole George Floyd riot situation in New York, and it was around 5 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and a lot of the businesses were like, oh shit, it's going down. So they tried to close their businesses in the Bronx. Yo, the Bronx was out of control. Police were getting hit by cars on purpose. Like it was unexplicable how bad things got over here when all of that was going on. But for the most part, we kept it together, and now you're seeing like us come out the other side. And even last summer was real weird. You know what I mean? Nobody was really used to going to parks like that. Nobody was really used to doing these other things we used to do when we were children. It was like, now we're going back to the park. Now we're doing picnics. Now we're going to do all these outdoor activities. And it's kind of like a renaissance in New York, where kind of people are just outside more now. And it's no more, there's not a lot of tourists. There's not a lot of, it's just us, whoever was left after this whole exodus happened. And I got my bike. Like it just like things just I started doing things differently. I didn't like going on the subway. I got a bike to change that. And now biking is my favorite thing to do ever. So, and this is something I was doing in middle school and high school. So like in that way, you've gotten these great things you know how to do now, and kind of that were lost in translation back before COVID, because it was always bar, club, it was always like the same things over and over. Get lit, get fucking. Now it's like different, different.
I heard
Different.
it. I held myself
you really
back.
buffled up that word there, dude.
You need to stop buffling shit.
I'm a different bastard.
How's
Yeah,
the
but
pandemic been for you, Ton?
Nothing's changed other than me not being able to hang out, go to bars and shit. Work has been the same. I go to work like it's nothing.
Are you having to work? Are you having to wear a mask while you're working?
At first, we all did, but then, since I work in a shop, I have a whole bay to myself. So in my bay, I don't have to wear a mask. But if I venture off to other people's bay or go in the break room or something, you had to wear a mask.
Okay.
So other than that, like, yeah, it was just like a normal day, going to work, working, and being a little bit more conscious of who you're around and what you're doing, making sure you have a mask on and shit. But other than that, yeah, work never stopped. The hours never stopped. Like, it's just, everybody else stopped though. You know what I mean? Like people, like even my wife was affected because she didn't know she was going to still be have a job. So it's just like, she'll work like 2 days, 3 days out of the week. And it was just like, damn, like, hours.
that's around the
cut
time
and
they were
shit.
filing for bankruptcy or something like that. I
Yeah,
remember.
they were going through all that, and yeah. So I mean, I was lucky enough that my job still continued on, even though it was weird, but they still went on, and I didn't really see any effect on my paycheck. Really, it was just whatever, just whatever. Everybody else is going through the money struggles and shit, and I was still fucking working nonstop. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, working in my line of work, having to be in everybody's face and shit like that, there was definitely a scare. A lot of the guys in the building I work at retired, like just flat out retired. They're like, yo, I'm a grandfather. I got kids. I got I got all these things to worry about. I don't want to come here catch. And a lot of like maybe five guys at my job have contracted COVID.
Oh wow.
And it feels like I'm dodging bullets left and right in there. You know what I mean? But the one thing I will add, yo, this whole everybody being washing their hands shit, all germaphobes, I have not gotten sick. Knock on wood. Not, you know what I mean? Like I got a cold, you know what I mean, sometime 6 or 7 months ago, but I have not gotten sick ever since this whole COVID shit started. And I'm usually that kind of guy where when the seasons are changing, I get sick. And I haven't experienced that yet. I think that's one of the things of everybody washing their hands and people cleaning more often. I think that kind of helped that whole thing.
That's funny that you say dodging bullets because like there's certain people that I've hung out with and they all have gotten COVID, right? Like Brian, my boy Ray, Ronald, Randy, like all these guys that I've hung out with a couple times.
Is Tony admitting to being an asymptomatic carrier
No,
here? He's over here infecting
not.
Everyone with COVID.
Definitely not. And I hang out with them, and then 5 days later, they're all chilling, doing whatever they're doing, talking or whatever. And then 2 days later, and like the day I would go and be like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, yo, we're all mad sick. We all got the vid. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what a bunch of dicks. So I just like, all right, whatever, nigga. That's my cue not to venture off over there. And then somebody at my job got it. I was like, fuck. Didn't get hit. Got tested twice. Didn't get hit. Boom. Then another person at my job got it because he wanted to go to fucking Daytona or whatever, travel. He caught that shit. Dodged a bullet there. Took 2 tests, negative. So it's like, you know, everybody around me or that I know have gotten COVID or something. And it's just like, yo, at myself, I'm like, damn, like I've been around all these people, even Ever got it, you know what I mean? Like all these people got it. And it's just like, damn, I've dodged all these fucking COVID attacks. You know what I mean? So it's just like, am I immune to it? Because me and my wife got sick way back in the day. Now, that sounds stupid, right? Like me and my wife got it 2000 before the outbreak happened in like November, right? Around my birthday. We were both sick, but it wasn't any of the symptoms that anybody got, but we were fucking sick. Like chest pains, all this shit. And at that time, no one knew of COVID. COVID wasn't a thing. Then January, February, March came, and now COVID's an outbreak. And then I always told myself, like, damn, baby, maybe we already got it, and we got this immune now. That
I've heard that from so many people though, and even if you catch COVID and the immunity that lasts after that, it's only like 3 months. Like it wouldn't have covered you past like the last year. I think there's something comforting about thinking that you already caught this shit.
No, but I'm still taking
from it, and you're fine.
No, I'm taking precautions still. Like when anybody I know got it, I'm away from my wife. Like I'm in this room, chilling. Like
he's not saying like a sense of security. He's saying that there's I guess there's a comfort in knowing that.
Yo, you already got it.
That maybe you already had it. That maybe you're not gonna get it. You maybe feel a little bit more relaxed about it. You know.
I mean, I've got 13 days until I am basically immune because I just got my second poke yesterday.
Oh, you got your shot. Nice.
You got your second shot or your first?
Second shot, dude.
Oh, so you're done.
Yeah, I've got 2 weeks until I'm immune. They said some of the side effects for like the benefits of getting the vaccine though, like it gives you the immunity against COVID. I don't have to tip anymore whenever I'm at the bar. I can use the 15 item or less express lane, even if I got like a full shopping cart.
Damn.
I can park in handicaps parking now.
Wow.
I never have to take back my card, and the NARC card isn't going to come after me.
Damn.
But now, what's
sunblock
COVID
anymore? Like,
which vaccine did you get for COVID? Because apparently there's 3 different COVIDs, and each vaccine is for each COVID.
I got the Pfizer, so I guess that's my gang on this one.
Pfizer.
Yeah. All right, is everybody here getting COVID shots? Pucho, are you getting it? When it's available?
Am I going to get it?
Yeah, when it's available for you, like you and Lisi?
Of course.
Does the baby does Liana need one too?
Eventually, right?
Eventually, maybe. I don't think, like right now, I don't think they've given any babies or toddlers the vaccine.
Children,
I think they're experimenting like now with like school-aged kids, maybe like 12 or something like that. Like, I don't know. They're usually pretty careful about like giving babies and stuff like that a vaccine.
What's 10? What's
the number of times he's gone to the bathroom this episode?
Yo, this motherfucker kills me, son.
We need to just buy that man some adult diapers, and he can just piss himself on camera next time we're having an episode.
Or like Dwight Schrute in the episode where he wanted to increase his productivity, or he wanted to beat the computer at sales. He hooked up a fucking catheter to himself, and he was like pissing in the. He's like.
And everybody's like, "Yo, you like?"
I just went to the bathroom right now. Like he's trying to shorten all his breaks and shit. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, for me, Mateo's not wrong in that I'm largely unaffected by the pandemic. Like I'm always like been a homebody, so like pretty much one day to the next, I just sort of been a little bit more of a homebody. Like I work from home now because, like Mateo said, I work in tech, so it's just like I just do my job at home. I could do my job most places, so it's like I've gone in to work a few times. There's been a few instances where like they needed a body to go and do something, and yeah, pretty much. So I just been working from home. The shitty part is I do enjoy watching sports with my friends, having drinks with my friends, stuff like that. And I've largely, I don't know, I've maybe taken the precautions maybe a little bit more seriously than most people. So like I haven't eaten out at a restaurant at all. I haven't gone to a bar. I haven't
had nobody come over.
Like, what was that?
I said you haven't had nobody come over, haircuts, all that. That's why you started doing the shavings, because it's like you avoided all, for the most part, other than visiting your parent, your mother and father. Like you've been confined to your house. Like you guys definitely taking it way more serious than any one of us.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for how seriously anybody is actually taking it, but yeah, I'm saying, I think, yeah, I've basically not. I've gone to my mother's house, I think,
twice,
2 or 3 times now, and yeah, that's the extent of. I think I went to like a church one day, like it was like some kid got baptized or something. So I think that might be the only public thing that I've like. I'm sorry, not public thing, because I took my daughter to the zoo one day and I like shit like that. Like I'll do my own thing, but I'm mainly just trying to do activities that are outside, away from people and shit like that. Yeah, it sucks because my favorite shit to do is to just hang out with my friends. So it's like, I don't know. I haven't done any of that.
My drinking has gone down so far the past year because I like the social aspect of drinking, apparently. Didn't know that before. I thought I just liked, drinking and getting fucked up, but apparently not so much.
That's the only time I drink.
I like sitting around and drinking and bullshitting with people. So like, I don't know. It's not quite the same on Zoom. And, Doey and I are here like cheersing each other and drinking, but it's not the same, a little bit missing.
My drinking went down dramatically, and then it fucking skyrocketed for a little while. Like, because at first it was like, yeah, I'm a social drinker. So like once you remove the people out of the equation, it's like, all right, there's no drinking occurring pretty much. And I didn't drink for weeks and months, if anything. And then we started hopping on the House Party, which is a video app. And then forget about it. We would just have the House Party app open, and we were just, talking like this, having drinks. And then it got nuts, because then it was like every day of the week, someone would be like, you down for shots? And I'm like, fuck it. And dude, I was buying. Yeah, it got a little out of control for a little while.
We found the wonderful PS4 version of Monopoly.
Oh my god!
That was funny. We were all playing Monopoly on PS4 online. Just again,
you had to play by the real Monopoly rules, though, huh? With like the bidding on like property you don't buy and all that shit.
Yeah. It was a little weird at first, but I mean, it turns out it's still pretty good. It's a pretty good game, although it's fun in the beginning, then it gets boring.
Because you get people doing stupid shit, dope boy.
They be making alliances and truces.
That's the shit that I don't like about Monopoly. That shit is the worst.
And Doughboy was the worst.
You got people making horrible deals that barely benefits them, but they're fucking the whole game over.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like the worst is they be dead set on making the shitty deal, and you're like trying to cut in on the deal. You're like, yo, there's a better deal, like let me cut my, like then you're trying to maneuver your way into that deal to kind of prevent a shitty situation. And then some people they don't know how to negotiate, you know what I'm saying? So they make some bullshit there and they basically make everybody lose. And the worst part is they make a deal that they're gonna lose in the end. So it's like, why are you even making that?
The last time I played Monopoly in person, the table got flipped because we were playing with Adam and Corey, and I forget who else was playing with us. Adam being the G-man that was referenced earlier. And Adam had like Park Place, and I had Boardwalk, or maybe they was swapped around. And we formed a rental agreement where we were doing profit sharing on those two. So one person owned it, but we were both put in money to build hotels on it. And if the other person landed on it, you got immunity. And then we split profits down the middle of anyone else that landed on it. And we built hotels in that shit immediately. Corey landed on that once. And he's like, fine, fuck it, whatever. And then if the next time around lands right back on Boardwalk with a hotel on it, and is just looking at his money, and he's like, fuck you guys, and flipped the table on us. That game ruins friendships. It ruins absolutely everything in your life.
There's definitely
it's mainly because of the deals that people cut, like like especially the out of the playbook. Like you can't fucking rev share a property in Monopoly. So like once you start doing that type of shit, it gets crazy. Like one thing we used to do back in the day similar to that is like, you know, you trade some properties and you trade an agreement of like, yo, you're gonna let me slide on those properties for some period of time.
Five times or something like that.
Right. Now 5 slides, that's a lot. 3 is the customary slidage, okay?
I made my sister cry hard. Nayeli, the little one, playing Monopoly with him. Everybody thinks I'm a cheater, so I can't be the banker or whatever. Cool. I'm not
allowed to be the banker either.
I just make good fucking plays for myself. I make shit
every
sound
time I'm
great.
the bank, I steal money. So
see, look at that shit, thieves. So my sister had these
properties. That comes
properties.
with the territory. That's what being the bank means. Is you steal money.
So my sister Nai's like, oh, she got a property that I need so I can control a whole alley, right? I want her to control it. So I said, oh, Naiji, if you give me this property, I'll give you these like water. It was a water and electric or whatever, some bullshit property, right? I was like, here, and for the first 3 times or 5 times you land on this avenue, I won't hit you. Oh, okay. Swap. Nigga, I just know she forgot about the other avenue I already controlled. So as soon as she landed, wah, banked that shit. She started crying. My mom was like, why are you crying, Najee? Tony took all my properties and I can't play no more. And I'm here just cashing up the money, checking it out. I bet. I was like, and I take my 2 properties back because I bankrupt you. So those are mine now. So I won.
That's not how the rules work.
That's how I play. So then I bought that shit. It's all mine. And then she starts crying and my dad comes around her. Hey, cabrón. Dad, tu hermana juega. Cursing me the fuck out. I'm like, yo, if she can't play, that's her problem. I made a deal. That's her problem.
Yeah. Back in the day, parents were the ultimate cheat code.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Not me. I ain't letting that shit
Not in my house, yo. That shit used to piss me off, bro. I still remember, yo. I have a lot of little stories where I realized life ain't fair, yo. My birthday party, okay?
Your birthday
party. My birthday party. We were playing the limbo, okay? Everybody's lined up going under this fucking broomstick.
How old are you, by the way?
7.
Oh, wow. Young.
6, 7, something like that. And Everett got eliminated, right? Then I got eliminated. And then Everett's mom snuck him back into the line.
Oh, my.
And I said, nah, that ain't right. I remember seeing that shit. And I was like, yo, that's fucking foul, yo. Yeah, some people get the parent treatment. Like I grew up with other kids that'll cry to their moms, and their moms would bend rules and shit.
You said Everett was crying to get back in line?
What was that?
You said Everett was crying to get back in line?
Oh no! I don't think he was crying. Maybe he just said something. But yeah, his mom put him back in the line. I thought it wasn't
Did he
fair.
get eliminated again immediately?
Yeah, pretty soon after. He didn't win. But if he would have won though,
You would have been tight. You would have been like, nah.
oh, I was already tight. As soon as I saw him get in the line, I said, "This is fucked up. This ain't fair."
You know what game gets really aggressive towards the end?
Uno?
Fucking chair game. What's the shit?
Musical chair.
Oh, musical chair.
Oh my
Mad
God.
aggressive.
I've seen grown adults shove little kids out of the way.
No,
Facts.
No, I've got a story about that. So I went to a party. One of my exes. She worked in childcare. So it's a bunch of other women there that work at this preschool. And I showed up to this party, and man, I had forgotten how much preschool teachers party, because we showed up to this this sponsored thing. It was an official event by the school, and these girls were lit. Like, we showed up like an hour and a half late, and these women had already done an amount of shots. Like they had a good amount of tequila in them already. And then like there's prizes, and then they're doing like the chair thing. And there was a pregnant woman that was like playing, and like a bunch of like teenage kids that some girls had brought. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this one. I don't think that I'm gonna spend this musical chairs game pushing teenagers onto the ground or anything. I'm a 30-year-old man. I don't need to do that. That pregnant woman got knocked to the ground by some of these women on the round of the last 3 chairs.
Yo,
she was in these big ass like 4 or 5 inch heels, and like already wobbly because had the big pregnant belly on these heels. And she got butt scooted out of a chair straight onto her ass.
Why is she wearing heels? She's pregnant.
I mean, maybe she wanted to feel sexy or something.
That's dangerous as fuck. Whatever. That's what happens when you play musical chair. You get knocked the fuck off. Like playing with with my Mexican side of the family, they play musical chairs. That shit becomes very fucking dangerous. Because not only what people do, they do that move where they think the song's gonna end, so they're slow tipping around the chair, so there's a gap in between them. Yeah. And then, everyone would just start throwing their ass first.
Like this as they they'll be like, so that they can grab it and sit
bees. It's a butt hover too, dude. You'll shake your ass an inch above the chair.
People used to be like, there's a bunch of games that ruin friendships. Uno, Spades, Tunk, Monopoly, fucking Phase 10, all these games. Like, I don't know how y'all play Uno, but I play Uno where it's called Train.
No.
Where you can just stack
the
cards.
way you play Uno is wrong. I've played Uno with you.
No, it's not. I play that shit right, nigga. Straight.
He wants to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 2.
No, you could do same
3,
other. No.
5,
I don't do
3,
that.
4. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he does number hopping. He does color hopping. He's like, if he does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they could.
They got to be all the same color.
The numbers.
No, they got to be the same color.
What?
They got to be the same color. Like 1 through 7 has to be the same color, or you can do 7 sevens.
Yeah, but that's already in the rule
color.
book. You could just drop the like. Can't you just drop as many of the same color? No. You can only drop 1 card at a time.
1 card at a time is the rule book.
It's a fucking bum ass rule.
You can match color or match.
I remember he hit me. I hit him with a reverse. He hit me with like 2 reverses and a wild card after.
That's the rules, my nigga. We playing the rules here.
I love when you be like reverse and another reverse, so it's my turn again. Like, no, it don't work that way. Okay?
And then
that is 100% not how.
And then the draw twos, the continuation of draw twos. I drop a draw 2. Puto drops a draw 2. That next person better have a draw 2, or not. You get hit with 4.
The waterfall is in the rules. That shit is actually part of the rules. But you can't double reverse someone to make it your turn again.
Tony got a lot of crazy fucking Uno rules.
I'm gonna drop 5 skips. I'm gonna drop 5 skips, so it's my turn for 5 turns now.
Yeah, that works.
It'll be like double reverse, my turn. Double reverse, skip, double reverse, draw 4. You drew, now it's my turn. Draw 2.
Uno,
and it's like, pero ven acá. How many? And he'll hit you with a grand combo. DK, he'll eliminate you out the game. You never even got a turn.
Nope.
Like, shit don't make no kind of sense.
It just is what it is, man. That's the rules. Get with it.
Nah. Uno, spades, you could lose a friendship.
Oh man, if you renege on spades, get the fuck out of here.
The problem with spades is you might lose friends with the people you're playing against because people like to talk so much shit while playing spades.
Yeah.
But that's whatever. Usually your beef is with your own teammate. It's usually like, yo, what the fuck? I was dropping this, then you switched it up on me, and then
try to give each other the eyes.
Oh, across the table? Yeah, that shit is
fucking Leighton will be the spade master. He fucking shame you into doing all the right moves.
You got to think about it, because like as soon as you hear, and then people fight about calling people out for talking over the table. You see the eyes be like, but you got over there, and you be like, yo, you tired of cards? No, the fuck I'm not, nigga. I ain't even say shit about the cards. I'm like, yo, we're watching your face.
That's cheating, though. That's straight up cheating. I do not condone anybody talking over the table in the middle of spades in any way. The only talking you do is by the cards you're putting down. Your teammate got to read the cards you're placing and figure out what you're going for.
The one thing I always did love about reneging is when you see the renege happen, but you let it sit and you remember where it's at, right? And then later down the road, if they're beating you, be like, yo, matter of fact, you reneged on this hand. Look, you see where you dropped the spade, nigga? You had a heart. You played the heart here. And everybody's like, wait, what? What's going on? And then you look and you do the count. It's like, oh, give me those books, nigga. And it's
that fucks up the entire game, though. Then you've got to sit there and do like mental math. Like, well, that would have changed all these hands. So now we...
And then I get my books and we won. And that's like, fuck you.
Yeah. If you don't call the renege when it happens, it didn't happen.
Nah, you can call it.
I think that's a rule, if I'm not correct.
I never heard that.
I don't even know the rule. Spades had a rule book. I don't even know where this game comes from.
I knew how to play hearts, and I went and played spades with y'all, and I only kind of knew what I was doing because I'd played hearts before.
Even Tunk's from, I think, prison. Tunk was made in prison too.
That's what everybody at school. Hey man, you got to know what to play when you go to jail. I'm like, why am I preparing to go to jail? I'm like,
that's what you do in the hood.
You got to play them hood games, man. Tunk was fire though. Tunk was fire. You had to get the cards to drop it, and shit's fire. I was at one of my friends, Ebo's house, and they were playing Tunk for money. Yo, these niggas is gambling hundreds of dollars. It's crazy because you can have a side bet, and I guess when they play like. The highest spade is one bet. So if you put $10, somebody's got to match your 10. If you got an ace of spade, you automatically get a book. And yo, I'm just seeing like hundreds of dollars on the table, and they're like, bam, another 100, bam. This one guy said in 2 weekends he made like $1,800 off these niggas. I was like, this is fucking wild. Like, I ain't never seen those crazy shit like this. But yeah, Tunk was
whack though. Like, cause wasn't Tunk like you either had to get like 3 cards
to drop,
were like a series, so like 4, 5, 6, or 4 or 3 of a kind, and then you could drop the 3 cards. And so then you start with 5 cards, you pick up a card, so now you have 6 cards. You could you figure out like what move you could play, and then you always got to drop a card. So then you'll end up with 2 cards if you play the move. And then you could just drop at any time.
But there was some people will add rules.
That sounds like rummy.
Right. It might be it might be the same game, but it's stupid. Like right in the beginning of the game, let's say you got like as an example, let's say you got like 4 aces and like a 2, like for a fact, like you got the lowest numbers. You could just drop your cards, be like, boom, let's see if I won. And if you got the lowest number, if your cards add up to the least, you just win the game.
Yep.
So it's like at any moment you could just end the game. I found it very silly.
That's weird. Yeah, I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, it was definitely wild. And then like you get an automatic cash if you get 45 points in your hand that you get. So if you get 4 face cards and a 5, that's automatic bread right there, just winning off the table. I'm just like, damn.
I think we used to play for quarters on the bus when we were fucking broke as a joke.
Trying to get lunch
like
money.
6th and 7th grade.
Yeah. Good times. Hood games.
Facts.
Good times. But yeah, I think that's it for this pod. Nice little piece of 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a record.
Yeah, I was gonna I was gonna
That's
say
our longest.
we're approaching the Snyder Cut duration.
Fucking Tony, yo, I think we should talk about the Snyder Cut. It's like nobody's seen it. Yeah, watch it. It's like it's 4 fucking hours. I don't think I could watch that in like 4 hours
Watch that
notice.
shit.
Like I gotta start now.
Nah,
like,
watch it this week so we could talk about it on the next pod. That's it.
For sure.
Do that.
But thank you to all the listeners checking us out this week on this episode 9, is it? This is episode 9, right? 9 episodes in, man, of the One Up podcast. We appreciate all of you guys for listening and taking your time out. And yeah, thank you for the support, man. And just keep liking it and giving us feedback on everything we do.
Shout out to whoever's on Reddit watching us.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big fact. But yeah, thank you. And this is the One Up podcast. Peace.